Oh, yeah.
Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Transcendent as Fuck with Iena SpiritWalker. And here we talk about all things metaphysical. We talk about intuition and healing and animal communication and basically all the blessings and challenges of being a spiritual being in a meat sack. Today, I have my lovely guest, Pam Roussell, and she's going to be talking about the mind, body, spirit release. And we're going to share a little bit too about the miracle of energy healing and how awesome it is. So, Pam, welcome to the show. And thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for the invite.
Woohoo! Please tell us what it is that you do.
Well, I am a holistic health practitioner and I focus mainly on cats. So I work with, emotional, physical issues. I identify things that resonate with imbalance and stress and all those good things, and find the right tools that the body needs to get itself healed and back in balance. And that can be a variety of different methods and tools and modalities. So it really depends on what the body resonates with.
Beautiful. And I am looking forward to hearing a little bit more about mind, body, spirit release. Please tell us about that.
That is a new modality that I got certified in about a year and a half ago. It's really, really amazing. So it helps identify imprints that are recorded at the cellular level whenever we have trauma or negative experiences in our lives. Or this works for pets as well, because they have traumas and experiences in their lives. And what happens is things go from the conscious mind to the subconscious mind, and they get trapped, and they're stored in organs, tissues, glands of the body that can hold and emit emotions. And so mind, body, spirit release uses muscle testing or ideomotor testing with pendulum. Basically, it's the quickest way. And we go through just a series of charts and everything to identify, working with it within a framework that we set up ahead of time. What do we want to work on? And go identify all the blocks. And so all of these little cellular imprints come forward, and we're able to clear those. And it's like relieving the body emotionally and physically of this burden that it's been carrying around in the subconscious. And then then we're free.
Yeah.
And it's gone. It's truly amazing.
Yes, it is super amazing. And do you have a story that you can share with us about some of your experiences helping animals with EFT or people?
Well, absolutely. And I've experienced this myself.
Yeah.
It was so profound. So let me give you a little backstory. Like in a previous life job, something happened that made me very, 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 very angry.
Yep.
And, when you work for someone else, you are at their mercy for rules, regulations, and all of that kind of stuff. And I was very, very upset about something. And I didn't realize how much I just pushed it down inside of me, because I had to continue working there, and we just have to, okay, I'll just have to go along with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I started having, like almost immediately, I started having back pain, like low back pain. Never had issues, in decades, never had issues. And all of a sudden, it's like we're sleeping at night and I get up and my back is just killing me. And so I go through all the traditional acupuncture, chiropractic, bought a new mattress, the whole deal.
Yeah.
And this just got worse and worse and worse as the months went on. I mean, almost debilitating.
Yeah.
It affected my personal, my health, my physical workout ability, and all that kind of stuff. And so it kind of hit me one day as I was going through this training later that year. This whole training took about 4 to 5 months to complete, right? This whole certification program. And so it's interesting because as I was finishing up that whole process, I was in meditation one night and I just kind of got a little nudge, like, you might have some deep healing to do. So there's some stuck energy somewhere in your body because I was still dealing with this pain, right?
Yeah.
And so I told myself, okay, when I get up in the morning, I'm going to do a mind body spirit release session on myself. I'm going to go through
Yeah.
it. I'm going to see what I can find. I want you to know I did the whole session. My pain disappeared overnight.
Love it.
Now it was like tremendously kind of
Mhm.
a shock, even though you know things like that work. But when you have an experience in your own body, it's like,
Yes. Yeah.
what? So that was just really eye-opening, even though I had had this done before, but it wasn't for physical reasons. It was
Mm.
more emotional stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's just beautiful how revealing it is when you really deep down dive into, maybe I'm holding on to some stuff that I need to let go of. And when
Yes.
those things start to come to the surface and you see them on a piece of paper, you're like, wow, I was
Oh,
still holding on to that. I thought I had let that
yeah.
go.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
apparently, even sometimes when we think we've let stuff go, it's still in there. And so this was just
Yep.
it was powerful for me to go
Mhm.
through that myself. And you know how
Yeah.
the universe puts us in certain positions. So we have to experience things that we can help others figure things out and, help
Mhm.
them get better.
Yes.
So that was a personal experience for me. It's been
Mhm.
transformative.
That's beautiful. And does mind, body, spirit release you also find answers from past lives as well? Is that something else that you guys discover?
Not necessarily
Mm.
from past lives, but
Mhm.
you can find like traumas that may have happened to you when you were in the womb
Yeah. Mhm.
or that your
Cool.
mother experienced when you were in the womb,
Wow.
things like that. It can identify traumatic experiences. Like, for example, if you rescue a dog and you don't know the background and it's very fearful and you suspect there might have been some abuse or,
Mhm.
some kind
Yeah.
of trauma, you can identify things like that using this technique too,
Oh my
because of
gosh.
what you're able to pull out and identify in emotions and, age of what happened, the kind of circumstances that were involved, who was involved. I mean, it's pretty incredible. And it gives you a whole new appreciation for what that animal has gone through. And it
Mhm.
helps you understand what you need to do to support it going
Yes.
forward.
That's such an amazing tool, and it's so important, I think, for every human and animal, and all living beings need to
Yes.
experience it, because we do carry so much on on so many levels. I had an experience when I was a single mom with I had two kids and I was working 70 hours a week, the whole nine, anything that
Mhm.
you would expect a single mother to do that started with no money. So, and I was having heart problems, like going to the hospital, heart problems, wearing a heart monitor for a week or whatever it was, like really scary. My 17-year-old son was driving me to the ER a couple times a week kind of deal. It was frightening. And finally, one day I was like, hold on a second, what is going on here? And I was able to separate myself. I didn't
Mhm.
have those techniques that you have, but I was able to separate myself and just look at the big picture like I do for other
Mhm.
people, right? Like it's
Mhm.
for whatever reason, it's more challenging for ourselves sometimes because we're in it.
Yep.
And I
Mhm.
recognize, oh my gosh, I was holding on to this. I was waiting for the ex-husband to um move forward with giving us the money that we were supposed to get because I was financially struggling. So I was putting it like all on him, and I
Mhm.
finally I that day when I realized what it was, I actually wrote up a legal piece of paper saying I release him of all his expectations because he would never pay it anyway, like he would never pay child support or anything. And I wrote the legal note, I had it notarized, and I mailed it to him, and I did not have any other medical problems with my heart after that. And,
Wow.
I was holding on to that, I was, and the word is not coming to me, but I had all these expectations
Mhm.
of him doing something that he had no intention of doing. So all my anxiety and everything was like funneling into this, and it was coming up as heart palpitations, heart problems. And as soon as I let it go, I've never been to the hospital, haven't had any flutters or anything, nothing.
Isn't that
It's
amazing?
so true. We all experience it. It's so
Mhm.
vital. I'm so glad that you're bringing that up today. How
Yeah,
Go
it's
ahead.
pretty incredible. It's really incredible how you can see like immediate results.
Yes, it really is. Yeah. It's I mean, it's almost like once you see it and let it go, it's like lifting up the curtain and going, "Oh, there it is. Oh, that's the problem right there. You can go now.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See you later." And then, "Oh my gosh, it's totally gone."
Yeah.
And it's also such an amazing testament of how we are spiritual beings in a meat sack. Like animals too, they're spiritual beings, they're sentient beings, and
Mhm.
we have this stuff that we carry with us, and it really does get into our cells. It gets into our organs, and it's so wonderful to have modalities like the one that you're bringing up to today, the mind body spirit release, to
Yeah.
yeah, let it go.
Let it go. And I'll tell you, it's interesting because we can also determine if there are generational blocks.
Oh
So
yeah.
limiting beliefs that we carry forward from generations, like 10, 15, 20 generations that have
Ah.
been before us, that have just been passed down through cellular memory. And we act the same way, or we have those same limiting beliefs that are, you
Mhm.
know, 15 generations ago on our mother's side carried. And we're like, what?
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
able to identify and bring those to the surface and release all that too. It's like I'm stopping that chain. I'm stopping
Mhm.
that generational curse, if you will, for a lot
Sure.
of people that have
Yes.
those limiting beliefs, addictions, whatever it might be. It's like it stops here, We're not going to keep
Mhm.
carrying that forward. It's
Mhm.
fascinating.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. So I don't know if this is an ignorant question or not. Ignorant meaning not having the knowledge, but it seems similar to emotional freedom technique or EFT. Is this similar or completely different?
It's different.
Okay.
It's different. But
Okay.
EFT is a wonderful modality.
Mhm.
That's a lot more, I don't want to say simplistic.
Mhm.
Um, but it's just different, you
Yeah.
know?
Okay. Another
Yeah,
modality.
another modality.
Oh my gosh.
Like with mind body spirit release, you design like a framework, like
Mhm.
you set an intention.
Yeah.
If you want to work on abundance and you're always tired of like being in lack and always worried about
Mhm.
money and all this,
Yes.
we would customize like an intention where we write out how you ideally want to see yourself.
Mm.
You're abundant in all areas, you never worry about lack, you're always provided for. So we frame it in a positive light of how you want to see it.
Yes.
Then we go uncover all the blocks that prevent that from happening.
Oh,
Make
yeah.
sense?
Yes, I
So
I love that.
it's pretty cool how it works. It just depends on
Mhm.
what you want to work on. You can work on anything from your health,
I know.
emotional, and everything.
It seems like you could spend a lifetime just like unpacking all the stuff and all the blocks and
Absolutely. I mean, some people will take the same intention and work on that for a year. And it's
yeah,
like peeling the layers of an
it is.
onion back every time you go
Mhm.
a little bit deeper, and you
Mhm.
keep uncovering more and more until finally you're like, no, I'm good with that. Let's
Yes.
create something else to work on.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, I absolutely see that. I've definitely had that with myself too, just like you were saying. I thought I let that go. Like something comes up and you're like, "What? I thought that was gone." Oh, here's another
Exactly.
layer. Here we
Another
go.
layer. Yeah, and sometimes we don't realize how deep those layers
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have how about a story about how mind body spirit release has helped an animal?
Well, I've had clients who have like rescued pets, obviously from
Mm,
shelters or whatever, and like they'll come to them with very skittish behavior, very
sure.
untrusting. and the shelter doesn't have much background on them. But in a few cases, I've found what comes up was abuse,
Yeah.
fear,
Mm.
helplessness, injury,
Mhm. Mhm.
those emotional scars that are associated with their physical
Mhm.
scars and
Yes.
injuries in the body that they carry.
Mhm.
Um, it can be heartbreaking
Mhm.
to identify these kind of
Sure.
things. But what's cool about it is when I'll tell the pet parent, okay, this broke my heart, and I know you're going to cry when you read this, but just know that it's been released. So it's no
Yeah.
longer a
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
And they'll report back to me like, oh my gosh, for the first time I see my cat like relaxed.
Yeah.
And they're
Isn't
no
that amazing?
longer running from me. They're
Mhm.
no longer behaving in a fearful manner. They have just like, you can just see their body just finally relax, and they know that they're safe, and
Mhm.
you can almost visibly see like the weight has been lifted off their shoulders.
Yes. Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So
Exactly.
it's fascinating when the pet parent sends these reports back like, oh my gosh, I knew you were working on him because I saw their demeanor change. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that energy work happens in the moment it's done.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
And sometimes, depending on how subtle that is, maybe we don't see it like right in your face right
Yeah.
away, but sometimes we do, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, it's it's fascinating. Like I recently had a client whose cat, she took to the vet. She got the cat when he was about 12 weeks of age, and she got found it through some place on Facebook or whatever. And when she's had some issues, health issues with the cat for a while, and
Mhm.
she took him to the chiropractor, ongoing for a while, and the doctor had said, I've never seen a spine this bad. And she was just racking her brain like, nothing's ever happened to him with me. I don't know where this could come from. And
Mhm.
I was able to determine that there was an accident when he was about 6 weeks of age.
Mm.
And I, I don't know. I get a sense that it was like he saw it as a punishment. So maybe
Mm.
he was being a kitten and getting into something that he shouldn't have gotten into.
Sure. Mhm.
And maybe he was struck, or maybe something happened, but his
Mhm.
spine got injured on
Yeah.
some level. And
Yeah.
so that's why the chiropractor was just working so much on this part of his thoracic spine. And when
Mhm.
I sent that to her, she just cried. She's like, oh my gosh, I've always wondered, because I've never, it never made sense to me what this doctor was saying. And now you put it in perspective, and now I have an answer.
Mhm.
So it's powerful. It's
Mhm.
powerful to be able to give these pet parents like some insights into what their little pet's body is holding onto,
Yes.
and what they've been carrying forward all these years,
Yes, and to help them release it.
and to help them release it.
That's amazing.
Exactly.
I love that. We always hear that phrase, emotional scars. You just mentioned it, and I think it's so true on so many levels, because it hints of the physical implications of emotions, and that's absolutely what you're doing with the mind body spirit release.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. All right, Pam Rousseau, is there any other words of wisdom that you would like to leave with the audience today about mind, body, spirit release?
I would say, if you've tried all these other modalities and you're working on self-development, or you're working on an issue with your pet that seems unresolved, I would suggest that you give mind body spirit release a try, because it can be
Mhm.
so enlightening to shed new light on something from a different perspective that maybe you haven't looked at before. um it can be life-changing, and I mean,
Yeah.
I am a testimony of that myself,
Uh-huh.
just physically, and seeing the difference overnight, what it can do. So yeah, no
Mm.
matter what you're going through, there's always help, you know? And at
Yes.
first, at this, remember, we are energetic beings first.
Mhm.
So what things happen to us and for us on an energetic level is to teach us. We are to learn something so that we can have that experience in this earth suit, you know.
Yes.
In
Yes.
this experience, we are here to learn.
Mhm.
And sometimes that can be a painful process, but we're here to go through it for a reason. So it's part of our development.
Yes. I love it. Okay, my love. So, why don't you tell us about any classes or events or anything that you have going on that you'd like to share?
Well, we have, let's see, I have a radio show every month that's all
Ah,
about holistic health and cats. It's different topics and everything. So I do that once a month. I team up with some amazing people in the cat community for energy work and
mm,
roundtable talks and all of and fun things like that, and just educational kind of things. But yeah, check out the perfectlyholistic.com website.
okay.
We have a mailing list if you want to get on our mailing list, so you can be notified about these events and
Mm,
offers and services and things like that that we offer for pets and pet parents.
mhm.
And MBSR is on there, holistic health services for cats and all sorts of good things.
Awesome. Okay. And so your radio show can be accessed through your website?
Mm-hmm. It's
Okay.
listed on there. Yep.
Okay. Awesome. And what is your website once more?
It's perfectlyholistic.com. That's PURRR,
Mhm.
perfectlyholistic.com. And then we have a shop.perfectlyholistic.com, and that is our store where we focus on all things cat as well as holistic health supplements, homeopathies, remedies, cat stuff, all sorts of fun things.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, Pam Rousseau, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your wisdom. Oh, and if you guys want to get a hold of me, IenaSpiritWalker.com, IENA SpiritWalker.com. All right,
Yeah.
my friends, take care of yourselves. We love you all. Thank you, Pam, for being here. We appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you.